Hello, everybody and anybody. This is just a little short video about microgreens, and I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. Here is a small container of microgreens. These are broccoli, and that's one way of doing it. And so another way is getting a plastic container like this or a bigger container. These ones I bought because I do it inside the house in my room, and they're practical. They're not too big, and I'm not using earth. I'm just using water because in my room and that it's not like really big. I sleep there, so I don't want to have a lot of earth, if I had a greenhouse or something outside, I'd probably use the earth, because I've seen in other videos about microgreens, a woman, she made an experiment between just using water or using earth or some other kind of thing they use in microgreens, like it's like some kind of, it's not just in water. So anyways, I just use water because it's more practical for my room, and plus I purify the water. I use the tap water. I pass it through a Berkey. You don't have to do that. That's just like a progression. I'm trying to make it more pure, more better. I use the tap water at first, and it works the same way. It works fine. But as far as the quality of the microgreen, if you're using purified water, well, you're probably going to have much more healthy, organic type result. So in any case, I filter my water and through a Berkey, and then I just pour it in these ones here. It's really quite easy. I just pour it underneath. I don't pour it on top. Pour it underneath, and the roots go down through it. If you can see that, the roots go down and they go and seek the water. And this is really quite an easy way to do it, because you just the way the cameras, I can't show you, but you just pour the water. I lift up the thing here. I lift up this plastic thing and I just pour the water underneath it, and that's it. And you don't have to worry too much. You just check it out once a day, once every couple of days, because it goes down and it finds the water by itself. I have these sitting in a window. I only have one window in my room. I'm renting in a room in my cousin's apartment, and I have one window to the north. So it's not the best sunlight, but and they do get a bit of light at night, because I'm kind of a night hawk, so I have some lights on and they get the light. But I'm not using any like special lights just to make them grow. I just have them in a window, and just natural light, and just filtered tap water, and that's it. And that's so this is the easy technique. You pour the water underneath, the roots go down. That's one form. Here's another plastic container. It's a little bit deeper, These are broccoli, and they're looking good. I'll be able to like harvest them any day now. And same idea, except this container's a little bit deeper. So the same thing. Look at all the roots. The roots go down. They drink the water. So these are just, I don't know if you call it organic, but it's just pure water. Pure water and broccoli seeds, and then I cut them and eat them. And microgreens, if you know anything about it, they're supposed to be like really healthy, because you get the essence of the vegetable. And broccoli apparently is one of the most healthy vegetables for you. There's been a lot of research on it, and there's a doctor. I don't think she's a medical doctor, but she's got a PhD, and her name is Rhonda Patrick, or Rhonda St. Patrick, I always forget. And she's like, she's all kinds of videos on health on YouTube, and I think she has her own, she has her own web site. And so she talks about broccoli too, and that's where I learned quite a bit about it. And I think that's where I decided to grow broccoli, because before that I wasn't really interested. But after listening to her, I said, wow, that's really that's one of the most healthiest vegetables you can get. And so the advantage of eating microgreens compared to like a big piece of broccoli, which is obviously good for you too, and especially if you get it organic. But the advantage to microgreen is a little bit like the egg and the chicken, right? Inside the egg, you get the full, you get all the value of the inside one little egg. And whereas a chicken, it takes time to grow, and you get the full chicken with the meat and the bones and everything. But the concentration in an egg is very healthy. A lot of strength in there. So this is another technique, just in a smaller container. I did this before. When I first started, I even used a smaller container, one of these like preheated meals. It was even smaller than that, a little flat thing, and it worked fine. The difference with this is that you have to be a little more vigilant because I have several containers of these going on right now, and you have to you add a little more water just in the bottom. You can't flood them because they're gonna too much water make them rot sitting in the water, and so you just have to pour a little bit on the edge. It's a little more vigilance. You don't want to be wetting them on top. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, I don't know, but most of the videos I've seen, they don't spray them on top. And so I just pour a little bit of water in the side. I look at it, I swiggle it around, but you have to be vigilant. You want to check your thing. It depends how hot it is. They get thirsty. So I have several containers going on, and one was in a corner because I had no more room on my shelf by the window. And so here's an example of one that was missing water. So they all got flattened out. And I added some water now, and hopefully they will stand back up, but maybe not. We shall see, because they're fragile also, But that's rare. Of all the containers I have going, that's the only one. It was sitting in a corner, not in the window, and I forgot it was there. And so they keeled over. They all keeled over, but they might stand back up tomorrow. We'll see within 12 hours. This is a container of microgreens that I dried out. Because what happens is, when I grow a tray of microgreens like this, it's a lot of microgreens, especially if you want to eat them fresh, right? And so I don't need that much, and I have several trays growing. So what I did at first with the radish microgreens, I actually dried them out so they'll last longer, and I turned them into tea. I bought the tea bags online, empty tea bags, filled them up with tea, with the dried radishes, and I made a tea. It's really good for your respiratory system. And then later on, I got the idea, after I got into the broccoli, to dry out the broccoli microgreens. So what I do is I put them in a big salt shaker with holes. And the dried microgreens, I put them in there. I shake them on my salads. I shake them on my cooked foods like eggs or whatever. And so I'm getting all this like vitamins and nutrients in a dried form. It's not going to waste, because you can't always eat it fresh, because it's just like, how do you preserve it, right? I froze it. I don't want to dig in the freezer right now, but I have frozen packages of it too. And it's not as interesting once you unfreeze it. If you can eat it fresh, it's nice, or I think dry is perfect. Shake it on my food, and it's really delicious. So this little jar here of broccoli microgreens, it's five of these trays into one jar. That's how much it takes to make one jar of dried broccoli. So there's a lot of nutrients, concentrated in there. And anyways, that's what I wanted to make. And so if you know anything about microgreens, you want to lead a healthier lifestyle, you want to, eat healthier food, it's a very simple way of integrating into your daily diet some really quality food that you grew yourself in your own home. And like I said, I'm just growing them in a window. I don't have a garden. I don't have a backyard. I'm in an apartment on the 3rd floor. My window's facing north. And yet I got all this nice stuff, right? And I've tried I've grown pea microgreens. I've grown not asparagus, but another one that a lot of people buy. Alfalfa. I've grown alfalfa microgreens and sprouts, and I don't want to continue growing alfalfa or the peas because I found the peas too rich for me. Whatever it is, maybe eventually I'll dry some and put them in the shakers too. But I find the pea microgreen for when I eat it, it's whatever it is for my body. It's very rich, and I don't need whatever it has in it. And the alfalfa, I read somewhere that alfalfa is mostly good for something to do with women. And I said, no, I don't need that, I don't think. And then I began to think about it. I said, do we eat alfalfa? I know we eat broccoli, I know we eat radishes, we eat peas, but alfalfa, we don't normally eat that as a food. So I thought, okay, if it's only good for women anyhow, and I know alfalfa is good for the animals. It's good for the fields to make better earth. And for the animals, like say milking cows now, it increases their milk and everything. So alfalfa is good, but I thought, well, for humans, is it really food? So anyways, I don't grow it anymore, but it's quite valuable. A little tray of it in the store is like $7 of sprouts. So this is just a video to share with you what I'm doing. And you got $50. I say $50 here because one of these trays, if for people who sell microgreens, like their trays are a little bit bigger than mine, and they sell them like, I would say, to be modest, $10, $15 in New York City, where the restaurants are looking for that, or any city, the restaurants, the big chefs, they want the microgreens for their meals that they make for the people. So they sell them from anywhere. I haven't even seen $10, but you're talking 10, 15, 20, 22 for a tray of microgreens. So I got 5 trays in here. So let's say modestly $10 a tray. That's $50 worth of, on the market price. But what does it do for your health? That's the main things why I'm growing them, is introduce into my body the best nutrients, the best, it increases your immune system. And I'm not a doctor. I just listen to these videos of these people. And I'm sure anybody who's into health probably knows a lot more than me about broccoli and everything, but I've listened to enough to convince me that, oh yeah, I'm going to grow some. And it's really good on my salads, by the way. I mix it with the, see this one here, I've got radish and broccoli mixed together, and rosemary. The rosemary I didn't grow. The rosemary I just bought, and it's already dry, so I just crushed it up with one of those things there, I don't remember the name of that. And in any case, this is just to encourage anybody who wants to grow food in your own house, and it's really quite, it's encouraging, it's fun, and there's a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit of vigilance, but I've seen videos of women just doing their kitchen under a light in their kitchen, and to feed their family. So it's definitely a good thing. So that's it for today. Just wanted to share that. So bye for now.